I think I'm live. I think I'm live, guys. Look, you're seeing a live feed on a live feed. Does that make sense? That's not what we want to look at. We want to look at this video. And this video is going to be for a YouTuber, or maybe a couple of YouTubers actually, all within the role-playing game community. Primarily, I'm looking for some good Dungeon Master's advice to anybody who's watching. So some of you might be asking, what the hell are you talking about, fool? Talking about role-playing games, okay? Yes, role-playing games is still around these days. People who play video games. How can you call yourself a role-playing game fan if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is? How can you not appreciate Dungeons and Dragons but say you're a big role player when it comes to video games? Does that make sense? No, I'm just rambling. So I hope you guys liked the videos I made today. I did one of Lawbreakers, which is an arena shooter. There we go. And also we took a virtual set tour on the Next Generation Bridge. So that was pretty cool. And that is actually, I had to edit it. So that will be uploaded here very shortly. So now we're going to talk about a Roll20 session that I'm going to be running here in the future. And just a little background on what all of this is, if you're just new to this channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you. is that Roll20 is a virtual tabletop where you play role-playing games, and you can play Shadowrun, you can play Dungeons and Dragons, all of the editions. You could play the Star Wars game by Fantasy Flight. You can play the Song of Ice and Fire. You can play Numenera, Fate. You can play Savage Worlds. You play so many role-playing games on there. I just don't know all of them, but there's a lot of them you can play. And a lot of people are playing every day on this virtual tabletop. So this is the room that I have going on. And as you can see, I have imported a battle map, or a map of a cave. And just to give you the old school feel, we can put some grids on here. So if you look, oops, look closely, you see grids. So that's how you get that tactical feel. See, this is a ruler, so this will tell me that character is going to move 5 feet, 10 feet, so on and so forth. All right, so just for country singer Glenn Campbell has died at 81. Jeez, fucking tons of shit going on today, huh? We won't get into politics. I'm not saying anything political. But anyways, let's get back on track. So what I want to do is I want to create a session for our players. And I want to run a one-shot Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game. It's been a long time since I've done any Dungeon Master things here. It's been a long time since I played a game. And I just really want to get back into it and have a good time. So, taking it very carefully because my last game didn't go so well, and it really made me, what's it called, discouraged to even want to run them again. So it's been almost a year, pretty much, running one. So this will be a one-shot. I'm doing this, and I'm designing this in a way where I can run it over and over until I feel comfortable running a campaign. So, just want to have fun with it, and I want to share with you this session here, so you guys can use it any way that you want to. Maybe you can take ideas. Maybe you can help me with some ideas. All right. So this will be the watermark on the video starting now on the session. All right. So let's open up our bar here. And as you see, you have the Roll20 chat and little menus. So I have a thing where I write down notes. This is my one-shot setting, just to tell me what to do. What's going on in the background. I try to make it simple as I can. If you want to, you can pause the video and read it. But it's basically about how they can come together and what leads up to the start of the adventure. All right, and I left enough room in there where I could actually make this a campaign, so that's good. All right, I've took a lot of inspiration from the Minds of Phandelver starter adventure, by the way. Okay, so now I have the one-shot setting. We just showed you that. Cave NPCs in history. So, wow, I don't even remember writing all this stuff. So I can show you this, and you can pause the video. But this is the cave NPCs. Please excuse the writing and the format. Okay. And I don't have any characters because no one has signed up for the game yet. I haven't put it out yet. This is all being made. And cave walkthrough. This was a pain in the butt. And I think I might have to trim some of this down. But this is what I have. And maybe I'll pause it. Or maybe I'll just leave this off to the side and I'll walk you guys through. Okay. So there are cave walls. No. Yeah, okay. Basically, the adventurers will be approaching a cave. Okay, it's dark at nighttime. There's a lot of sounds in the woods. And they hear the sounds of flies and screeches of goblins. They hear faint sounds of chains clanging on each other inside the cavern. They hear a slight banging of drums. Hoots and hollers deep into the cave. I mean, really deep in the cave. It's almost muffled. And they'll come to what they'll see is rough stone cut to form hallways. And they'll see some signs of wear on the walls. Looks like it comes from pickaxes. And the ceiling is about 10 feet high. It's varied, though. It's, it's kind of dips or goes up higher, just like a cave would. But on average, it's about 10 feet. And they'll smell rot, mustiness. The air is cold and dry, and like I said, it's dark. But they see like a faint light. If they go in further into the cave, they'll see a dim light coming from one part of the hallway will be dimly lit. So when they first come to this area here, area 1, characters won't see this. They won't see the 1. They won't see my notes. I'm sharing this all with you. And again, I'm just looking for feedback. And so what they'll do is, and purposely I didn't tell you the backstory, but just showing you the cave. And I drew this cave too. I drew this in Krita. I started off as a sketch drawing, and then I just experimented with painting pretty much, and it came out pretty damn good, I think. So very surprised. And then I added these little doors here through Roll20. There, that was kind of a tongue twister. All right, so let's try to practice narration here. So you all approach a cavern, very dark, and you couldn't help but smell the really deep smell of rot. And you can hear very faintly the sounds of chains emanating deep within the cave, and the deep pounding of drums, and the echoes of hooting and hollering following after. But as you come to this cave and you brush away some of the weeds covering it, you're very careful not to step on a branch, but you couldn't help but notice a trail of blood. You couldn't even help but notice that the area outside is soaked with blood, following a trail from the woods that you came from the trail that you had also come from. So, this is the first time narrating this stuff, by the way. So as you look ahead of you, you see a very large wooden door, and it fills most of that cavern ahead of you. And surrounding it is a wooden frame, and It is locked. It seems like it's locked because it shuts tight and there's a a keyhole upon it. But to your left-hand side there is another wooden door, and it's slightly open, and another trail of blood splits off from the main trail. What will you do? So this is where I will let the characters either go to this door. Oh, I forgot how to ping the map. Nope. There we go. So they can go to this door or this door. Because now they see a door that is slightly ajar, means slightly open, and another one that looks like it's all closed. So if they want to go down this way, then they can go that way. Or if they want to go this way first, then they can go that way. Alright. So let's do another quick walkthrough until I get to the question that I actually have. Alright. So then they're going to come to this doorway after unlocking this door or breaking it apart. But if they break that door, then it will definitely alert the wolves inside. And the wolves will bark and they will howl, and that will alert the guard that's over here. Oops. That's behind this door. And that's it. It would just alert that goblin that's over here. But if the characters go through this door and they unlock it with ease and try to be very careful in this room, then this goblin, he's gonna just continue off doing what he was planning to do in the first place. This goblin is gonna want to join this group of goblins over here. Large group is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goblins over here. Okay, so that will make it a total of 7 goblins. Ooh, that's gonna be pretty rough. All right, so characters come to this large open area within the cavern, and it is really dark. There's no light sources, but they see that this is where the trail of blood ends. There's a lot of blood here stained on the walls, on the floor, within the dirt. There's puddles of blood, actually, pieces of skin and guts everywhere, and there are flies in here too, but they're not so bad. Then you see 2 dead horses, and they recognize, the players will recognize if they do like a perception check or an investigation check, that these are the horses that brought the merchant here. And the night before even going back on the trail to where they are now, they all had met this merchant. They all traded stories, and they knew that the merchant had some business in the town that they were in for a special herb that will heal his wife. So they knew about what was going on with the merchant, and the merchant was nice and gave them some food while they were all camping out in this trade depot. But anyways, back to it's almost a railroad, but this is a one shot, so this is gonna bring them straight to where they need to be, and they'll know that these are the horses. Okay, now if you're watching here, please say hello. It's been a long time since I explained anything Dungeons and Dragons, so feel free to give me your advice if you have any. But this is basically, in a summary, if they mess with these wolves, the wolves will try to break out of these chains that are braced into the wall, and they will leap onto the players. They will try their best to fuck with the players if they are fucked with, or if any of the players make any noise. Now let's assume they make it through. They don't mess with the wolves, okay? The wolves are eating this corpse. That's all they care about, okay? Now there's a door here at this end, and I don't know if I locked it, if I meant to have it locked or not. I don't even remember. Okay, well, I guess I have it unlocked. I can change that, though. I can change anything I want because it's my game. Haha. So they go left and right, right? All right. So they snuck through, and this goblin here as intended, as I intended, I want this goblin over here. So, this goblin's over here. Players can't see anything over here, but they'll see. Damn, a lot of menus here. All right. So they can go left or right, and let's just assume they come over here, right? All right. So there's a door here at the end of the hall, and the door is locked. And if they make any noise, this goblin inside is going to actually hide. He's all by himself. He's cowardly. He's going to hide above an alcove that's above the doorway. So if the players go through, the goblin can sneak right behind the players to escape or to pounce on them. All right. And this goblin kind of is like a jailer because the merchant is in here. And the merchant is within a steel cage that's hovering over a snake pit. A pit of snakes. And the pit is, did I say 20 feet? I think 20 feet deep. Yep, 20 feet deep. Snakes of various kinds. And the cage is 10 feet high. So as you can imagine, the cage is actually higher. The ceiling is higher. And I did say varied. And there's another prisoner within another steel cage hovering above, and it's a goblin, a brown goblin. And this is where I'm kind of didn't really develop it well, but this goblin here is actually going to tell the players to insist to free him first. You know, free me, get me out of here, or I can take you where you need to go. Or no, that's not what I wanted to do. So, Jakor insists to leave him there and get the loot first. Oh, see, this is where I'm having a hard time. I wrote stuff really fast. The goblin prisoner says to let him free, and he will help them get out of there before the patrol comes back. If so, the goblin will betray the group and run to an area where the other goblins are to alert his tribe. Jakor, which is the merchant, insists to leave him. Oh, see, I don't know. I messed up with this. This is where I'm going to have to fix this here. But Jakor insists to leave him and get the loot first. The goblin will try to help them get the loot if set free first. Goblin will try to help them get the loot if set free first. Jakor tells characters not to trust the goblin. Okay. So, no, Jakor, of course he wants to get out. Okay. So, I'm going to say Johan or Jakor, whatever I'm calling him, he wants the characters to go get the herb. The herb that is hidden. And he knows that there's a bugbear that's commanding all these goblins. And these goblins are basically blocking the way to this big supply area. And this goblin here will say, yes, if you set me free. Yeah, there we go. If you set me free, I will help you find it. And if you free that goblin's going to betray the group. But, or maybe not. Maybe the characters will try to intimidate the character. That's what happens in Dungeons and Dragons. Characters actually help change the story. So, if I somehow drive the story a little bit better, or the action, if they leave Johan in there, or they try to get him out, players are going to have to try to some way to unlock him. There's another thing too, is the only way to unlock the cage is to jump onto the cage and bang on the lock, or unlock with thieves' tools, or any key that's thrown. A character must make a dex check. If the key falls, it will bounce off the cage and break. Goblin Guard has a key to unlock the cages. It is a rustic key. It will break after unlocking just one. Just one. Okay, just one place here. Just one cage. All right. So I definitely need to, in my lovely experiment here, is to fix that little parts here. It looks like all notes, and that's going to be really hard to follow, because just like I'm doing right now, I'm just like, what did I write? So anyways, let's just assume the characters take Johan's advice and don't free that goblin. I'm going to say that goblin is going to make noise. He's going to go, ah! He's going to do whatever he can to try to get himself out or protect his own ass. So, but the goblins can't really hear that. I might actually have to roll for these goblins to hear, or to see how loud this goblin is. I'm gonna have to create some kind of roll for that instance, and against these goblins to see if they can hear it actively. Getting some good ideas. All right, so the players come to this area, and I'm going to assume this goblin here, this goblin didn't really close the door all the way. So there's light emanating here on the edge. So they come to this area, and this is the part where I have not even filled anything in. I completely skipped this so I can finish the rest of it. So this is what I am going to do right now. And we are 21 minutes in this video. Guys wondering what I'm doing, I am trying to put together a one-shot game for Dungeons and Dragons. It's been a long time. So if you are watching, any idea is awesome. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts now. So let's see. Well, it is assumed that the goblins are still playing on their drums and hooting and hollering. So I'm going to write goblins are celebrating, drums, hoot, and hollering. So I'm going to say there is a... I'm trying to think how sneaking, how good they can sneak behind to gain surprise. Yeah, so I'm gonna say characters find a way to get behind them, because what's going to happen is through the field of view, if they go this way, right, they can get behind the goblins easily if their sneaking is good. So hollering, sneak versus DC. It's going to be hard to get past them. So DC 15, right? Unless players find a way to lower the DC. Trying to think how they can do that. So I'm going to give the players a lot of buy-in, try to discuss how they can get behind these guys. Maybe they want to attack these goblins right away. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. So just for shits and giggles, let's just fix these guys up a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more believable. Right? All his goblins are facing this way. Right? Da-de-da-de-da. Ha-de-ha. So, line of sight. This goblin's looking this way. This goblin's looking that 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 way. That way. So, this goblin right here is probably going to notice anybody coming in that area. This goblin will notice anybody coming in that area. Just the way they're positioned. So that's perfect. Characters will find a way to get behind them if they want to. It depends on what they want to do. There's a fire in the middle, so maybe the players can put out the fire somehow and maybe cause a distraction. So I will give the players the buy-in And I gotta make sure there's a sneak versus a passive perception. Yeah, sneak versus passive perception. There we go. And if there is a distraction, it will be the sneak versus active perception. That's what a passive perception means. They're aware. Okay, let me give you the difference. Passive perception means, for a character and for an enemy, it means that their senses are basically they're taking over. They're not actively on purpose. Like, just pretend you're at a computer. You're really into your game, and let's just say a car pulls up downstairs, and you have your air conditioning on, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of noises going on, but maybe you heard the rumble of the motor outside, just because you couldn't help it. You can actively hear it. That's a passive perception. Or maybe you're playing a video game, and maybe somewhere in your field of view, like at the edge of your field of view, you see a fly, and you just like, oh, you know. But an active perception means you're really looking around, and just you're focused on your surroundings a little bit better. So that's what an active perception is. So this will give them. So I just made that pretty. So now I have to find a way to actually give. Maybe the characters want to talk to the goblin somehow. So I'm gonna say Grank, which is the bigger guy. I'm gonna say if characters talk or try to reason, Grank will want the bugbear dealt with for agreeing to any terms. Should I let the not the bugbear? Should I let Grank live if the bugbear dies? I'm gonna say Grank will demand the treasures to stay in the cave, and for the characters to leave. If characters don't agree, then Grank will become hostile and maybe even part with half of the gold to stay. Basically, there's going to be some negotiations. Okay, so demand the treasure to stay in the cave, or ask the characters to leave. If characters don't agree with Grank, then Grank will try to reason. No, Grank will try to negotiate again until they can't negotiate anymore. And the goblin will attempt to attack. Alright. I think I got that finalized. I think they made that simple. Alright, so the next step here excuse me. Oh, another thing I need to do here on this adventure is I gotta put in the armor class and the hit points for each of these goblins. But that's easy. I can just mess with that anytime. Oh, did I save that? I hope I saved that. Please. Area 7. Area 7. Ah. I didn't save it. Damn. Alright. One more time. So Grank and goblins are partying. Characters can walk past and provide distraction. The goblins are facing the southern walls of the room, of the cave room, and goblins will attack if not negotiated with. If negotiated with somehow, goblins demand the bugbear be dealt with first, and then they get safe passage. Characters get goblins will give, I don't know. Goblins won't do nothing. That's all they want. Dealt with first, and then they get safe passage out. If after bugbear, oh my word, after the bugbear is dealt with, Grant will make himself leader and demand the characters leave all the gold and treasure behind. Grant can be negotiated until Grant can be negotiated if there is a 50 terms. And I think that might be good. Any insults or negative nature to the goblins will attack. There. So better not fuck with them. Save this thing quickly. Save it. All right. Okay. So now characters want, if they want to, somehow, some way, they can go to this area 8. And once they go in, they're going to see a lot of boxes, and they're going to see a lot of crates, you know, broken things. It's all trash. It's a trash heap where they put all the trash. It's not rotted stuff or rotted meat, because that is going to be here in area 2. That's where all the rot and shit is. But here, this is basically where all the trash is. Anything that can be used and crafted. And there's also, this is an old forge in this cave. So this whole cave is actually an old forge. And the miners who were mining in here long ago, they just realized that the vein that they were chasing was not a good vein. So they couldn't continue anymore. But this is a little forge here. And rats love this cave. So the goblins find this area to be a wonderful place to harvest rats and eat them. So this is basically their food source, rats. And goblins have this door locked and closed just to contain the rats a bit. And once the characters open the door, they'll realize that the place is swarmed with rats, and the rats will swarm at the players. Alright. But the rats do not swarm at the goblins. Alright, this is where things get interesting. I hope I'm not boring anybody. 34 minutes into this thing. And now, characters can come to this door, whether they defeated these goblins up here or not. They can still come up to this area, or they can just say, fuck it, we're going to be gone. But the adventure is basically they're supposed to help this guy out. Maybe I'll change the beginning adventure. Maybe. Just the beginning part. Make it a lot more interesting. Okay. So, they come to this area. Door is locked, and the area is guarded by red goblin pygmies. They're a separate goblin race, and the bugbear actually has control over these guys. They're fiercer, and they're more troublesome. They're bullies. So there's two goblin tribes, basically, or yeah, two tribes of goblins, two types of goblins that are in this cave, and I wrote down this long open hallway is dusty and filled with many dips and mounds. 3 pygmy goblins are alerted to your presence and huddle together at the center of the hallway, waiting for you all to make the first move. And actually, the area is trapped on purpose because the bugbear wants to protect his treasure. He's a very paranoid bugbear, and he stays inside his treasure room, and these goblins are guarding this hallway from any intruders. So I'm actually going to put this pit trap a little bit further down to make it easier for players. Easier. And I'm going to move this guy over here, because I said they're all huddled together. And hold on. GM overlay. Now the characters can't see this yet unless I put it into the map layer. Okay, now we're back to the token layer. And just to make it better. Just like that. I'm glad I made this live stream today because it's going to help make sense of some things. I tend to overthink when it comes down to these sessions. So I definitely need to trim down some of this pile of text here. It's not as bad as my other one that I had for my last game that I ran last year. So characters could come through the door and it's locked, and they know, you know, obviously they're going to be alerted. But they don't attack. They just stay right there. They just look. They just like, come on, you know, we're waiting. So that's supposed to confuse the players. I want to confuse the players, provide a sense of like, hey, something's definitely wrong here. And if they move any further, they're going to fall through a trap. And this trap is basically a leather skin on top of a wood frame, very loosely, you know, like a cross beam. And so if players step on that, they're going to fall through a pit trap that has spikes. Okay. And they have to make a dex save because they can, you know, see it really quickly and maybe dodge the trap. And basically the only way to get around it is to shimmy around the edge of each trap. I think that makes sense. And the goblins will attack if they come closer. And one of the goblins has a key to unlock the door. So the characters will have to search the goblins. And then the bugbear fight. And be right back, guys. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right. So the final room contains precious supplies and is the personal quarters for Firek, the bugbear. The bugbear hides in a small crevice covered by a tapestry. That's like his secret room. So there's like a room back here, and there's a tapestry behind there. I probably should find pictures of tapestry just to make it. I'll say tapestry. There we go. That works. So there is tapestry. That looks good. The bugbear will attempt to. The bugbear hides in a small crevice covered by tapestry. The crevice loops its way around the walls of the room. to the room. I know what I'm talking about. It loops its way around the room to another tapestry. Okay. Map layer again. Just move that around. And what layer are we on? There we go. So tapestry. And we're gonna send that to the map layer. All right. So there's two tapestries here. Looks better when it's a little bit higher. See that? See how that works? All right, so loops are, and it's like a secret area back here. There's a secret place, and that's where Fyrak will hide. This is personal quarters, and I'm gonna say back in this area, that's where he sleeps, I guess. And so, how to resolve the fight? How to resolve this fight? The bugbear will attempt to spot. I'm just looking at my notes because I wrote all of this really quickly. The bugbear will attempt to spot the bugbear sneaking. See, that didn't make sense. The bugbear hides in a small crevasse covered by tapestry. The crevasse loops its way around the room's walls of the room. It takes a DC 15 to spot. The bugbear will attempt to spot the Alright. I'm gonna write the bugbear is aware the players have been outside since he is paranoid and it is hiding. I already wrote that down. Attempt to spot. As you can see, I wrote this really quick. Since he is paranoid, and it is trying to gain surprise, and it hits hard and deadly. If so, if you look at, I like this. Watch this. Let's go to this spell. This 5th edition encyclopedia type of bugbear, right? Brute, a melee weapon attack, deals 1 extra die of damage when the bugbear hits with it. So it's already included in the attack. Its surprise attack, if the bugbear surprises a creature and hits it with an attack during the first round of combat, the target takes an extra 7 or 2d6 damage from the attack. Ow! Instant death, pretty much. So what I can do is, since it says Fyrak, I'm going to say Fyrak is going to do what he can to fight behind his treasure. He's going to come out and say, "Boo! Boo, that's my shit. Leave my shit alone." And players, if they wanted to, let's say someone dies, right? I can say, you know, one of these players, they might be smart and say, well, we'll take him to the crevasse. We'll try to heal him in there without getting any more damage, while the meat shield is try to protect the rest of the group. Definitely a brilliant idea. So, okay, so they defeat Fyrak. So that's when they search around. They search around, okay, and they loot boxes and they find dried meat. Tools, coal bricks, 4 red gems, and 10 yellow. A sword with a wolf pommel. A mace with a dragon pommel. They're just regular swords, right? A bow of gold weave and fine wood. So I'm going to say if they want to sell it, they can get a lot of gold. This treasure I'm offering is good for if I'm running a campaign, but I want them to feel like, hey, they got something. Arrows made out of gold, right? 5 minor health potions, 2 lock picks, 2 kegs of dwarven fire ale, 4 improvised grenades, bags of coin and gold worth 50 gold, in a small pouch with weir herb, and that's the herb that that guy needs. And I'm going to say a rusted key. A rusted key. Now, listen. Now, if the players wanted to... No. Yeah, if the players decided to have negotiated with these goblins, which they can be negotiated with, and intimidated, really. Grank, not so much. But the rest of them, they'll get easily intimidated. And so what will happen is if Grank says, well, you defeated him, and for your life, to save your life, you must leave all the gold and all the treasure there. And the players say, fuck you. Then Grank will try to negotiate. Or actually, no. Grank doesn't negotiate, but can be negotiated. I gotta write that down. There we go. Grank can be negotiated if the players negotiate. If the players negotiate, and only settles with 50 treasure, take and leave, something like that. Now let's say, I don't know, because I want this one to be trouble. I want this goblin to be trouble over here, because that's why he's in that freaking place up here. I'm gonna say this goblin doesn't even know what the hell's going on. Let's just say he's able to come out, and he comes out and he said, "These, the prisoner escaped." I want to say the prisoner is trying to escape. No. Maybe. Because I did say there was a goblin patrol, right? And I don't want this to be too hard. Maybe it's a red goblin patrol. Yeah. There's a red goblin patrol coming back. And they're on wolves. I'm going to say there's 3 of them, okay? Just to make it easier. So I think I did design the final fight. No. Maybe that's too harsh. These goblins here, if they can't be negotiated with, they're going to attack. This goblin here, I think he's just going to be the funny one. The one that's going to be left behind. That'll make it good. So the characters would be like, no, we'll just leave him there. No, don't do that. Or they can take him prisoner or whatnot. I did give them another key. So that is up to the players. I think that's going to be the best part. It's just to find what the players do. Because I really don't know. So if you're watching, and you've just gone through all this time watching me, please let me know, you know, am I putting way too much thought into this one shot, or is this the right kind of preparation that has to go on? Because I basically have the setting, which I think I might have to work on. The cave NPCs and the history. The cave itself and the cave walkthrough. Let me all know what you think. I think I can adjust this where I can say, hey, they've been traveling with a merchant and they all camped at nighttime, and then they find out that the merchant has been kidnapped, and you all know. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I should have just ran with this idea before. Everybody all met at a tavern. Okay. They all met at a tavern, and these adventurers are hearing about this frontier that has a lot of opportunity, fame, fortune, and glory. And there's a merchant there who is willing to take them back, only if they can guard this wagon, give them ride if they give this merchant protection, because the merchant basically has this weird herb which is going to help his wife get better from this skin consuming disease. So the players go with them, and then they camp for the night, and I guess they see a bunch of goblins going into the woods, and a tree falls down, and they notice a bunch of goblins. Oh, I like the idea because I want to give them the sense of the chasing these fucking guys. But then again, I like the dead horses too. I like the dead horses idea. I think I have everything. I just want to fix the beginning part. Because I can easily say everybody's come from freaking Neverwinter, and they're all making their way to Phandelver, and on the side of the road they see two dead horses, and they see a map case, and the goblins are ambushing them, and pew pew pew, and one runs off, and okay, no. I'll still run with the idea. I had. It's basically a 3-point backstory to get to where they need to go. First of all, definitely a rambling on. Campaign setup. Characters are level 1. They're trying to make their way to this place on the edge of the frontier. Because this is where they're going to base themselves out. This is where they're going to go into the frontier to find fortune, glory, treasure. Okay, they heard all about this throughout the realm, and they just want to see it for themselves. They don't care about the dangers, right? And then they come to a part on their journey, because they've done this by foot. They have no money. They have nothing. They don't really have any good weapons. You know, they're really nothing. You know, they had maybe some training somewhere. You know, maybe they're a noble. You know, they're looking for fame and fortune and whatnot. But they're basically just roughing it. And they realize they need a ride. And they're tired. And this is where all the characters meet each other. Some way, somehow, they're all going to the same destination. And this is where they all meet. And there's a merchant here just offering a ride, you know, after they all met each other by a fire before they all went out. They all talk about their backstory and stuff, and they say, well, we'll all take you out. And you know, just protect my caravan, or my wagon, I should say. Just protect me. I'll pay you handsomely. 20 gold. When we get back to where we need to go. Nah, that's not gonna work. So this is what happens when being a dungeon master. You have to think of a good reason for things to happen. Maybe I put way too much thought into this. Let me all know what you think. You know, maybe you can help me out with a good setup. I can just say, hey, fuck, you guys already knew each other, and you're on the road, and you came to this area in the woods, and you know that you recognize that merchant, and that merchant is your father, or this guy's father. Oh, that makes sense, I guess. And ooh, that might work. Well, I gotta get out of here. I'm just freaking talking out of my butt. But this is basically Where's a way we can get this adventure going? This little one shot. Alright. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day and stay real. Be happy. Play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons if that's what you want to do. Or maybe I won't leave. Maybe I will want to finish this up. Alright. Let's fix this real quick. I gotta get this done. Alright. The one-shot setting and setup. We start our journey here near the edge of the east woodland frontier. It is said that remnants of an ancient civilization lay buried and forgotten, and that many strange creatures inhabit it. Rumors of fortune and glory has made some explorers very rich, and some that have never returned to tell the tale. You are one of these explorers, leaving your homelands for whatever purpose. You suffer the long journey along the trade route known as Crow's Highway, so that you may arrive at Owl's Watch. You all come to a small tax depot, walled off and guarded by local enforcements who tax all who travel through this part of the Crow's Highway. It houses a small tavern, a couple of merchant stalls outside, an area for tents and bedrolls beside a campfire. A merchant had come through on urgent business, waiting for a contact of his to arrive. He noticed each of you resting outside and offered you all food, drink, and shared stories by the campfire. This essentially brought you all together, and each of you found out you had a common goal to go to Owl's Watch. He told of his reason. A special leaf used as medicine to cure a flesh-eating curse, extremely rare and hard to come by. He is essentially selling all he has available to get this leaf and cure his wife's disease. The merchant sets out in the night after receiving the medicine, leaving you all to rest. Okay. Leaving you all to rest or be about your own business. Alright, so that sounds good. I mean, I did good with that. The downed tree and the toppled wagon. The next morning, you all set off. And as you come along a bend and notice a large tree has been toppled down, blocking the path with the wagon toppled on the side and the horse is not present. Okay. Speckles of blood are found and led into the woods. Horseshoe prints, tiny feet, and disturbed dirt and flora suggest the area was heavily disturbed. The merchant was not alone. The characters travel into the woods for about half an hour and see a detachment of wolves and goblins walking off into the distance away from a mouth of a cave. It would suggest these goblins are leaving on a patrol. Curious, a lone goblin is seen extinguishing a fire and going inside the cave. There is a sound of chains rattling, crickets, and a very strong rotted smell. This is where our one-shot begins. Okay, so it's good. So I think that's fine. We'll just leave that as that. I don't know. I mean, I have to tie the characters closer to the merchant. Like, you gotta make him feel like he's important somehow. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna say the merchant is related to one of the characters, maybe related or a friend. They knew each other somehow. Now, if I say the character, see, this is where I'm thinking too much. Maybe I could just start the adventure at the trade depot. Because there's another way. There was another way I was planning on doing this, was that the characters asked the merchant for a ride on the wagon. And of course, you know, they basically everything I said, but they were able to secure a ride on the wagon. And all right, I can still fix it. I really wanted that impact with the wolves eating the horses. I really wanted that impact. So I'm trying to think how we can do that. I think the best bet is the characters are on the wagon and then they camp on the side of the road for the night because it's really dark and it's raining. Or they come to the road and then there's a tree that's fallen in the roadway. And I would love, maybe they should fight some goblins first. Some goblins outside. Maybe the wolves. It sounds good, but I just want to provide more of a impact on the wolves inside the cave. So let's see. Oh, maybe they go in the cave and then they realize, hey, more fucking wolves. So maybe their first thought is, hey, we gotta kill these wolves. Yeah, I don't know. So if they get ambushed on the side of the road by goblins, then that really leaves out my merchant guy. I mean, is he gonna get immediately dragged out? No. There has to be something that happens before. I don't know how to tie. It just, oh boy, very confusing aspect when it comes down to Dungeons and Dragons. It's basically game design. That's what it is. You're designing a game. All right. I think we'll just leave everything as is. But we got to really fix on why the character should care to go to the woods and chase after this guy. Or maybe, no, it'll be too soon. I was going to say maybe the characters heard the cries of these horses. Or I got an idea. I got an idea. Okay. So everything is as is, but when they came to that point and they saw the wagon messed up on the side of the road and everything, what will happen is oh boy, my brain's not working right. What will happen is a goblin will swing from the tree and grab an item, right, a random item from the player, and it will just run off. And say, hey, that's mine. So I don't know. And somehow they're going to run into the woods. So forget the patrol. I'm going to remove that whole patrol thing, and that's bugging me. Yeah, that doesn't. It just. I think there was just extra impact that just not needed in the adventure. So let's go back over here. So the characters travel in the woods for half an hour and see a detachment of wolves and goblins. No. Alright. Speckles of blood are found and lead into the woods. Not alone. And the merchant was not alone. I think if the characters say, fuck this, we just want to go to our town. Oh, maybe I should make a second adventure then. Or a second setting. You know, there's a consequence. You know, if you don't go here to save this guy, then if you go this way, I don't want to do that though. Or I can do what Andrew Armstrong did, one of his games that I played in, and make it known that, hey, this is where you need to be, but the NPC said it. Oh boy. Well, I think everything is good, but we just need to change the beginning part. The beginning part. Alright, so that's fine. I did say Goblin Patrol is going to be coming back. Or there's a Goblin... I just said there's a Goblin Patrol planning to arrive. Or I can just say, fuck the whole backstory. Really, just fuck the whole backstory and just say characters have been traveling to go to this area, and they get ambushed in the middle of the night by goblins. And after fighting them off, and after seeing that the horses have been taken, no. Or I say they wake up in the middle of the night to see that. Alright, I say they wake up in the middle of the night to hear the sound of a tree falling down, blocking the path. They wake up to also see that the horses are gone, and a lot of the items are looted. Or maybe their driver got kidnapped in the middle of the night. See, that doesn't make sense. Well, okay, first of all, they were already on a mission to deliver an herb that will totally erase Johan from the existence, but we need Johan there. He's a prime example why we're trying to keep him. He's a prime reason why they're going into this cave. So why are they going into the cave? No. It was a good idea I just had, but then again, it still doesn't provide the impact. Or just run with what I just said before and just hope that the characters don't think. Or possibly I can start the adventure off with him in that trade depot. Give them some role play. But that's going to prolong the adventure. It has to be a one-day thing. Now, if it was a campaign, I would definitely start it off in the trade depot, the tax depot, where they can interact with him and they'll have a bigger aspect. So this is like, I'll say, after being attacked by a group of goblins, two things are apparent. are apparent. The driver who drove this wrecked wagon was a merchant that was very kind to you in the town before, and you felt pity on him because his wife maybe Johan had offered work, had offered opportunities to them at the trade depot, but he had to go out first. He was hasty in a hurry to leave. But by the time they get there to the frontier, he would have all his contacts ready for whatever purpose. Oh my word, this is so hard, man. All right. Oh, it would be so cool. Maybe the characters are prisoners. Maybe the characters are prisoners in a way where they were riding in a prison wagon and Johan was the jailer, right? And what if the characters had chains? No. And then somehow, some way, they're going to be able to break out of the chains and say, fuck this. So that's not going to work. It sounds good, and I like how players can be inventive, but it still doesn't seem right to me. Let's see. What I have so far is fine. This is how I tailored everything around that. So, maybe. Okay. Idea. Totally got it. Let's just say they're already at Owl's Watch, okay? Okay, and they've gotten some work opportunity already from the doctor who's taking care of Johan's wife. Johan hasn't returned, and I fear he has gone up to the woods where the goblins are, and to find that herb. Find them back or find the herbs to heal this wife, and we'll pay you. I think that sounds better. Find Johan. Find him. Find him. Find the leaf. Maybe I could put a moral quandary into this. Do you save Johan and just forget about the herb, or do you forget about the herb and rescue Johan? Or why not both? Choices. I just like how I'm coming up with ideas, because there's a possibility of failure. I can give the choice of failure. Do you help? Do you care? Oh my word, that could work. And he's gone missing. Say my husband has gone missing. No, because the wife is sick. Okay, so the characters come from faraway lands to this edge of the frontier called Owl's Watch, and they've been looking for work, and they all met each other in some kind of agency, I guess, and one of the persons who was paying a lot of money to find Johan, because he went out into deep in the woods to a little bit further off down the trade road to Yeah, but then again, if the trade road is blocked by a tree, don't you think there's gonna be more traffic behind them or in front of? It doesn't make sense. My story don't make sense. Maybe I'll just remove Johan. Or maybe Johan's just an NPC. He says, "Hi, I'm Johan. I can help you find what you're looking for. But you must help me first." Yeah, or just... That makes sense. I think that makes sense. Maybe there's only one horse. Say, I'm afraid my husband is lost. He went out. Maybe there's just one horse that's in the middle of the... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe... Okay. An idea. Okay, what? Johan went out with another person into the woods to find this weird herb. It is a very rare herb to find deep in the woods. And this herb is used to help cure a rare disease, a flesh-eating disease. Now, the doctor who's treating the wife had put out a request, Owl's Watch, for adventurers to help find Johan. And the wife will pay quite a bit of money for Johan's arrival and for the weird herb, for a total of 50 gold for each player. I think that's what I said. That makes sense. And then I'm going to say the characters come up to a part in the trail where they see spatters of blood. Maybe they start to see that the trees don't look too right. There's a tree that's kind of angled, and it kind of looks like it's set up to be used as an ambush point, right? And there's arrows in the middle of the road or off to the side of the road. Something that don't look right. And that will lead players into the woods to this cave. Perfect. Perfect. That way they're already there to where they want to be. I'm giving them a preview of something. It's a one-shot. That's what it is. I'm going to think about that for the night and see if that works. So let's go. Coming to a theater near you. YouTube. The place where you basically talk to yourself. So I can just write. Let's do an alternate. I'm going to write alternate start. Because I'm sure if I ran it like that, the way before, I'm sure that's going to be fine too. It just already puts them in the seat that, hey, we're supposed to go this way, but there's a tree in the middle of the road. It's storming. Not many people travel at night. This is a very desperate means to travel. But we're going to have to run with this alternate start so I can think about it. Characters, I'll say, yeah, characters have reached Owl's Watch. And after hearing rumors or after, and before heading out for the day to explore the gateway to the frontier, to explore Owl's Watch and its opportunities. It was overheard. No. A doctor comes out of a house and wipes his hands of blood and green pus on a work jacket, and calls out the players. Say, hey, you look like strong traveling types. Are you all travel types? And I bet you are looking for some work. And the work that was offered was to find the sick woman's husband that had ventured out to find a secret, or a very rare herb off the trade road, about I can just say about 3 I'm gonna say about 6 days down the 6 days west on the trade road. Johan, the merchant's name, had a bodyguard with him, and with him. The problem is the area is known to be a place where goblins are rumored to dwell, or where goblins have been sighted. Okay. Good. So far, so good. So they're already at the frontier area. It's simple. Go find this guy. And then characters come to an area and they investigate. Pretty much. Characters come to an area and they investigate. Investigate. Characters now are resting on the side of the road. Okay. Resting on the side of the road, and one of them notices an arrow on the tree. And other weird clues that lead into the woods. And then that begins it all. Perfect. So I'm going to let's edit this out. Come to an area to camp, as it camp because it's dark and raining, and they investigate. Characters and characters now are resting on the side of the road, and one of them notices an arrow on the tree and other weird clues that lead into the woods. It makes sense. That makes sense. And the adventure runs as is written, except no goblin patrols. but maybe no goblin patrols. Yeah. So I think I made sense. And I forgot to write down something here. Thank you all for watching. I've just been mumbling. The adventure runs as written, except no goblin patrols. In the beginning. Near the cave. Come to an area. To the cave. I mean, I don't know writing all this stuff out because I got it inside my brain. I just want to make sense of the mechanics because players will question. You know, I have to. And another thing too is this could go definitely way off the rails. I have to be prepared for certain things. Maybe I will make a goblin patrol encounter. Have a set of encounters off to the side. So the adventure runs as written, except no goblin patrols in the beginning near the cave. I'll say this camping part. I'll say the camping part alone is where the adventure begins. So. So, perfect. This gives them a chance to talk by the fire. And it's getting dark, and now they're starting to get tired. And, you know, maybe one of them can be on watch. And I'll say one of them hears a distinct sound deep in the woods of hooting and hollering. Maybe one of them saw a flash of light coming from near the cave, deep in the woods. Maybe they hear the howls of wolves. And then in the shimmering of the campfire, one of them spots an arrow stuck on a tree. I mean, a couple trees in the woods. But it's a very curious thing. It's a arrow that has a black tip. And surrounding on that side of the road, there's also footmarks. And there's traces of blood on the trees. That's definitely a clue. Like, oh boy. I should put another clue maybe on the ground. Maybe. Oh boy. Maybe a piece of clothing. Something like that. Oh. Anyway. I think we got it, guys. Pretty close. Almost. Let's see. Goblin. Let's put in their hit points now. Come on. So I gotta make another map, and the map is gonna be, you know, a little area off the side of the road with a campfire, and that's where they can begin their adventure. They're all talking about their past adventure. They can introduce themselves. You know, we haven't formally met each other. No, no wonder. Goblin. Okay, goblin nimble escape. The goblin can take the disengage or hide action as a bonus. Ooh, 7 hit points, huh? Boy, that's not enough. With a 15. Leather armor and a shield. Alright, they don't have a shield, so I'm going to say 13. So this is going to be a 13. Got a goblin up here. 7 hit points. That's just to say, hey, boy, that was easy. Now the wolves. I'm gonna say they have an armor class of 13 too. They have like a leather hide So basically what I can do is just delete these guys. They're just tokens. 13. What's the recommended for wolves? Wolf. Dire wolf. Winter wolf. That's good. No, not winter wolf. Just wolf. They're going to be awful when they gang up on characters, so. Plus Florida. I don't care about that. Let's see. 13 natural armor. Okay, I was right. The hit points of 11. Well, I can make this kind of like a mini boss. Because I don't want them to die too quickly if they're messed with. Think about it. You're in a den. You're in a den, right? And this is for all first level characters. So they're in a den, and there's 2 wolves on each side of a room, and they're gonna. Each one's trying to attempt to get out and bite. Oh boy. So I'm gonna say. It varies. Because now they're eating, so they're supercharged. These wolves are feeling really strong now. To feel they got energy. So I'm gonna say 40 hit points. Maybe. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put 2 on each side with 40 hit points, and another one that's not. I'm going to do one that's 30. You interrupted his meal. Oops. 30 on this side too. Okay. Oops. We got another horse, guys. Alright. Let's put some more blood on the ground. Makes sense. Probably put some blood right there, too. Right there. Alright. Now, I'm trying to fix this up a little bit because I want the players to say, oh, shit. They're on chains, right? So give them enough room. I think if players just sneak through, and how much distance is there between? 12 feet? I don't know. Let me just try to create some more room. Tactically on the map, because it does matter. Oops. Bring it in just a little bit. And I want this moment to be like really tense. So so how far can these wolves move? So let's see. 20-foot chain. Okay. So I'll say this is where the barrier is. But from here, 25 feet. 25 feet is right there. Yeah, it's correct. So players would have to basically try to either go behind them. They can probably get behind this one here. They just got to be careful not to make any noise, anything loud, to get them agitated. So that will be a very tense moment, and at most, one wolf will be free to attack the players, and that will cause some chaos. So if this one tries to leap, that might knock that character prone to fall prey to this one to bite. So you gotta position your players. I gotta position my players. So this is gonna be a really tense game. I can tell already. This hallway is supposed to provide some sense of relief. So they can say left, right, or left. And, you know, this is the great unknown here. So I already give them the hit points already. Yep. Okay. Now, I said pygmy golems. Pygmy goblins, right? So easy to hit, but they have more. I say they have natural armor. All goblins do, but they have more hit points. Pygmies. I think the hit points will be, you know, they're more taken care of. So I'm going to say they have double 15 hit points. Right? 13. This one's got 5 hit points. Easy to kill. And this one over here is has a shield. Okay. Oh no, they all got shields. I'm sorry. 15. Oh, excuse me. 15 hit points. I want this one to have a shield. So copy. Nope. 15 hit points and yeah, 20 hit points. They're well fed, and they have. Boy, come on! I hate when it happens. Ta-da! Look at that. Another 15, 20 over here. All right. Now these are the brown goblins. These are the ones. Okay, so we got 2 archers here. 13 and a 7. 13, 7. 13, 7. Oops. And okay, so now we got the. These are my brutal ones. These ones have axes. So they have 13 hit points and I'm gonna say 10 hit points. All right, let's do 12 hit points. All right. 13, 12. I know I can just copy over, but 13 and 12 hit points. Grank, he is the toughest one, so he's going to be tougher than this guy. I'm going to say he has... His hide's just a little bit thicker, so I'm going to say 14 hit points. Or 14... What the hell is that shit called? Yeah. Grank, I know he was different on my macro. Oh, he had a 1d10. He had the two-handed axe, so he's gonna just hit harder. So he's gonna be a mini boss. So 15, 20, 14, 20. He just needs to stay out there just a little bit more. Let's do 25. He's supposed to be better than these pygmies. He wants to lead. He wants to be the leader, pretty much. Rat swarm. Let's check that out. Rat. Swarm of rats. AC of 10. 24 hit points. Holy shit. But they don't cause much damage. I don't know. I'm gonna make that a 10. $10, $12. I just want to make this kind of funny. 10, 12. I want this to be a fight, but not bad of a fight. Originally, I was going to have a rat king and a rat queen in here. Pygmies. Alright, this is going to be kind of tough. So 15, 20s. $15, $20. I'm very confident now with this. And I can probably put some kind of note here off to the side what these do. Fyrak the Red. Oh, he's going to be nasty. I'm going to say naturally his skin is 15 plus 2. So 17 armor class. Not even players have that much high AC hit points. I may have to put some treasure off to the side somewhere. Maybe it can be a health potion. Yeah, I'm gonna say one of these goblins have a health potion, like some kind of potion on them. All right, so 17 armor class, and he's gonna. I mean, you gotta make him to be the leader, and he hits hard too. So it's supposed to be a really bad fight. Make him 60. Yeah, let's make 65 hit points. That's gonna be awful. That's gonna be an awful fight. A lot of characters will die, I think. Might have to. That's why I'm gonna kind of test it out with some people here in the future. Very close to it too. All right, so just a preview of how the battles will be done. I've already did a lot of the heavy lifting already. So, Brown Archer 2. Just Brown Archer will be good. That'll be the first thing that happens here. Then we got the wolves. Wolf 1. Wolf 2. Wolf 3. Now, Dungeons and Dragons usually isn't this. I don't think so. This crazy as far as inputting all this stuff, because this is a computer program basically that's going to help with rolls in initiatives. I'll show you all that here just in a minute. And this is Red Patrol Guard. Let's say Red Goblin Guard. And this guy's going to be called Biz Quick. I didn't show his name on purpose. Red Patrol Guard. Okay, so Brown Archer. Okay, so all their names are fine. And Rat Swarm 1, they're fine. I think these guys are Red Hall Guard. Alright, these guys are fine. And Fyrak the Red is fine. I might have to fix the permissions on here now to controlled by Digison. Actually, you know what? Let's just leave it as is. Cancel. Cancel that. Okay. Speed, that's fine. I mean, so this is what's going to happen. All right, watch this. Let's pretend this guy's a player. He comes in here and goes, oh no. He's going to sneak, right? He's going to sneak. And light sources are what's going to attract the wolves. And actually, wolves hate fire, though. Yeah. Wolves hate fire, but they will attack if they're threatened. Okay? So I gotta come up with some more tactics for them. But let's say the wolf wants to attack his goblin. Just out of be funny, right? Breaks out of his chain. I have these macros. So this wolf here, I just click here, wolf, choose target. I already got the rolls already set up. Watch on the chat. I have all that set up. Wolf 1 lunges at Brown Archer with lightning quick speed. So it's an attack of 8 against 13 armor class. It misses. So the wolf basically falls off to the side, or misses a target, and stumbles on the horse, and begins to get up to regain its composure. The second wolf is going to attack this one. So wolf is going to attack this guy. 14 against 14. Ah, it hits that goblin with a lunging bite. Basically kills that goblin. And if hit, roll a strength saving throw to be a DC 11 to avoid being knocked over prone. They're going to be tough. So they better be careful. I'm going to say disclaimer, you might die. You might die. I'm going to say this, maybe a health potion in there or something. Oh, my ferrets are up. Ow. And ouch. Stop biting me, dude. My ferret has woken up somewhere in my room and now is biting my foot. Alright, so area 5, door is locked. The goblin inside has a key. Thieves tool DC 10. So let's just pretend I have +2. So roll D20 +2. 15. So I am able to unlock the door and walk in, and they walk in. Okay, so basically that goblin is going to try to pounce on the player to throw him into that snake pit. what was my snake pit idea? If you fall in, you take 2 damage. Make an acrobatics check. Take 2 damage. Oh, I didn't write anything out for the snake pit. Alright, so I'm going to just say the snakes are going to bite. So, maybe 1d4 every turn. Oops. Roll 1d4. 4 damage. That's from the combination of different snakes in the area. And I say after every turn it gains like 1d6. So let's roll 1d6 damage, and then keeps on going up each turn for that player. If he's stuck in a snake pit, roll 1d8. You know. So he just lost 9 freaking health points for being in there. Oh, that's going to be very, very bad. I might just... It just depends on how I want to run this. If I want to be really devious. Because now they're going to come to this area. And these goblins could hit pretty hard. So I can just say, you know, this is a goblin here, right? So... Brown Goblin Archer wants to attack Grank, for instance, okay? Brown Archer 2 aims at Grank with its crossbow. Ooh, 20. 4 damage. Damn, these guys are going to hit hard. Well, that's all the time that I have for tonight, folks. I think we're pretty much done with this. Glad you all were able to come by and watch. You know, it's just one watching. I don't know who's watching, but I'm glad you're watching. Had a good time. Goblin Encounter and Session Prep. That's right. Alright, thank you for coming to Wacky Wilson's live stream. And you all take care of yourself tonight. If you got any comments, maybe you have a suggestion, let me know. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Getting there. Alright. Peace out. Like I said, comments, suggestions. You know, I don't expect you all to have watched this video, but if you just watched some of it, thank you so much. Alright. Peace.